How's it going, guys? Grimsie42 here, and it has been far too long, but I am pleased to finally bring you episode 7 of the quest for NES. Alright guys, welcome to another Quest for NES episode, and like I did say, it has been far too long, and I want to make it up to you and show you guys some awesome stuff. Just to give you a quick update on how my NES collecting has been going, I have been continually picking up games. I'm getting very close to the end of the rainbow here, and I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff I picked up in this video. I'm thinking it's going to take 3 or 4 more episodes based on how I've been accumulating games to, let's say, get to the season, series, whatever finale. I'll leave more of that to future episodes, but let me just jump right in and show you some of the stuff that I got. I'm going to start it off with a bang. 2 boxes that I picked up for games that I already have in my collection, and these are boxes that are definitely higher up on the quality level. I've got them both in box protectors, and the first one right off the bat is the box for Zombie Nation. And it's in pretty good shape. I would give it 6 or 7 out of 10. It's got its dings and bangs on it, but pretty solid. This next one here is not as clean. I'd probably give this a 5. This is the box for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. And it's a little more banged up, and one of the tabs on the top is torn a little bit, but very hard to come by box, so I was definitely happy to get both of those in the collection. Another box for a very popular game here, I got Tecmo Super Bowl box, so definitely awesome there. As I've been having more difficulty tracking down carts, I've been keeping my eye open for boxes and manuals, just so that I could keep, adding stuff to the collection when stores didn't have new games that I was searching for. Alright, what next? Alright, next I'm going to show you guys something I picked off on eBay. Actually, I would say I sniped this. I got this for $12, and I think shipping was like $3. I already own this complete in box, but this is a version I did not own. This is a really cool variant. It's the Konami Classic series of Blades of Steel. You can kind of see there it's got the red border, and this is the notorious red labeled, definitely more uncommon, Blades of Steel. And it's got like absolutely everything in here, the inserts, all that fun jazz. And something that I'm definitely happy to add to the collection. I had my eyes open for just the cart, but browsing auctions, I did see this, and it ended at a really weird time, so I was able to pick it up at a great price. This next one I picked up from a local game store to me called Oogie Games, and one of the cool things they do is, unless it's a really rare game, they don't charge any extra for the box and manual. And I had purchased the game, and then I went to a different location, same store, and I noticed they had the game complete there for the same price, so I asked them if I could just have the box and manual, and lo and behold, they gave it to me. So I have a complete copy of Gogol 13, and this is a really popular game for Pat the NES Punk. He really enjoys it. Definitely fun. It's got a lot of cool genre crossing. It's got like some action scenes and some first-person shooter scenes, and it's got a lot of risque stuff, including blood, which Nintendo was really stringent on back in the day, so it's really cool to see something like that slip through. This next one here was a pawn shop pickup. I already had the cartridge, so this is actually just the box and manual, and it completes my copy. It's Flight of the Intruder. Pretty clean. I believe it was complete when I picked it up, and I traded the extra cart, and I got it for about $8, so I didn't think that was too bad. This next one I picked up for $15, which I thought was really good complete, since that's what the cart goes for. I already had the game again, which I've traded off, so I have this complete copy now, and it's Super Dodgeball. So definitely really happy to get this in the collection complete now. It's got the same graphic sprites as River City Ransom, and it's really a fun game, so I definitely recommend this one if you guys can find it. Next one here is unlicensed and pretty hard to come by. The box is a little rough, maybe a 5 out of 10, but I now have a complete copy of Master Chu and the Drunkard Who, if I'm saying that right. I believe it's pronounced Who, H-U. But really interesting Color Dreams game. It's got really weird collision detection in it, and it's definitely not the best unlicensed game you'll ever find, but it's definitely hard to come by, so happy to add that one to the collection. This next one is notorious for having a peeling top label, and I believe that I'm one of the few, yeah, it looks like I'm okay, and I will show you guys, but I have a complete copy of Cliffhanger here, and luckily, no peeling top label, so that's pretty good. This game, for whatever reason, every copy I've ran into has had a peeling top label. I'm not sure what it is or why, but it's something that I've noticed. Hopefully it's just bad luck on my part, and you guys see it, you know, in your areas. If you see it at all, it's pretty hard to come by, but if you see it, just be careful, like I said, that the label is peeling. Another game that does that a lot is Varias Woods. This next one here I got from my buddy Jason Wells, and it's pretty hard to come by, and complete in box it's very hard to come by. So glad to have it in the collection, and it is Death Race. So not that good from what I played of it. I popped it in quick just to test it. It's interesting, but it's just not for me. Not something I would personally recommend. This next one here I've yet to play. I really should check it out. I believe this is a remake of a Game Boy game, and it's in really, really good shape. That was the main reason that I picked it up. And it is a complete in box copy of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I'm a big fan of the Star Trek shows. I like Next Generation and Voyager. All the other ones really never did anything for me, but pretty cool. It's kind of like a, I don't want to insult people, but a dumbed down Star Wars, and you get hundreds of episodes. And the reason I say dumbed down is just the limited budget and limited production time to create the episodes. So in some episodes you can see some real cheesy special effects, but I think that adds to the charm of it. And like I said, definitely a fan of Star Trek, so no Trekkie hate or anything like that. I can even do the Spock thing, so you look at that. Mad skills. Anyways, this next one I picked up here was actually a rare Amazon find, and I do recommend to all you aspiring collectors out there, occasionally give Amazon a look. And I've noticed that in certain situations, the way they list things, you can get good deals. And I picked this up for $40. And I think the game itself is worth more than that at this point, but it is a complete in box copy of Zen Intergalactic Ninja. And this is a really, really fun, I wouldn't say late release. I think this one was like 92, let's see, 91. This is a 1991 release, so towards the end of the Nintendo's life, but really, really fun. And it's got two different styles of graphics. It's got like a side-scrolling and then like a 3/4 over the top. Really, really fun though. I definitely recommend it. Alright. Next, I'm going to show you guys a really hard to come by complete in box game, and I got this one as part of a trade with a buddy of mine, AirForceShields. Kevin is his actual name, and I will link his channel down below. He does really good pickup videos. He's actually got a complete original Xbox set, which is very impressive. And while he was closing in on that, there was a very hard to find Halo bundle that he was looking for that luckily enough I had, and he had a NES game that I needed, and he had a complete in box, so I was more than willing, and I believe I got a very, very fair deal. And without further ado, I give you guys a complete in box copy of Cowboy Kid, and that was a slamming deal. He definitely gave me the better end of it, and I know his reasoning was that he was looking to complete his Xbox collection, so I don't fault him for that, and I'm super, super grateful. Again, I will link his channel down below. Alright guys, I'm going to show you a couple more uncommon games that I recently picked up, and one of these I definitely recommend. It's very fun, and as 8-Bit Eric would say, it's trending up, and it is a copy of Ampum by Jaleco, and it's a really, really fun game. It's basically an action platformer, kind of like Mega Man. Really, really fun, really good graphics, something I definitely recommend you guys pick up if you can. Back in the day, maybe 2-3 years ago, this was like a $5 game. I think it's climbing up over 30 at this point, so definitely keep your eye out for that one. This next one here is another very, very lucky eBay find, and I got this for $30 shipped, and the shipping was $12, so For those of us that can't do math, that's $18. Hopefully I got it wrong, that way I can get trolled in the comment section, but I think I'm good. Anyways, this is a very, very hard to find game, and the seller was super awesome and actually had somebody who lived near the border, cross the border to ship it, but still charged me $12 for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, 30 total. I'm not going to complain. I now own Kid Clown, and I could not believe that I got this for 30 bucks. It is probably like a $60 or $70 game, at least last time I checked. Very hard to come by. Pat the NES Punk believes there's like a cornering market going on with this specific game, so I'm not really worried about that anymore since it's in the collection. But anyways, I'm going to break to a little bit of a different part here. We'll call this the Pale Pursuit or some nonsense. But no, I'm not copying Retro Liberty. Anyways, these are just PAL games I've picked up recently, and the relevance behind that is basically, as I'm getting closer to complete NES, I've been looking for PAL games also, which are very, very difficult to find. And eBay's expensive, but luckily I've got a couple friends across the seas. And in the first case here, a good buddy of mine, Ryan, who actually appeared on a episode of on Game Quest, actually, Woods show in Australia, because that's also where Ryan is from. Anyways, he knew that I was chasing down the PAL games, and he had a few spares, and he was super nice enough to send these over. So let me show you guys what we got here. The first one is a drastic label variant, but it's the same as the game here, and it's Hook. The next one is just another very drastic label variant, and you'll definitely agree when you see it. It's really, really cool looking. It's Mighty Bomb Jack, and as you can see there, it's got really, really cool art to it. This next one here is a PAL exclusive, and I believe exclusive to Australia, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a copy of Aussie Rules Footy. Footy, I'm gonna guess this is rugby. Aussie Rules Footy, couldn't really tell you. Not too up on the Aussie rules, but super, super grateful to Ryan for getting those out to me. Very happy to add more PAL games to the collection. 3 more here that I picked up at Con Bravo. These are just more PAL games that I needed for the collection. I don't know anything at all about this first one. I have yet to try it, but it is a copy of Drop Zone. From the style of the label, it looks like it's an older game, but it's 1992, so late release, I guess. This next one here is a really, really cool label variant of a game that I've been looking for a while. Here it's known as Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden, depending on how you pronounce it, Part 2, and it's Shadow Warriors 2. And take a close look at that label. You'll notice that Ryu Hayabusa actually doesn't have his mask on, and I believe in certain regions in PAL territories, that is because they don't like the ninja whole stigma or whatever. Shadow Warriors is the title, basically, but really, really cool variant, and I'm glad I got it. Okay, last card-only PAL game here. This one is something that I've been looking out for a very long time. Finally, I was able to get a really good deal on it. I bundled it with some of those other games. It's got really, really good graphics. It's fun. The controls are tight, and it actually has some spoken dialogue in it. I actually plan on doing, in the future, some sort of a Let's Play just to give you guys a better look, but it is a copy of Hammer and Harry, and definitely recommend you pick this up if you can find it. They did also release a version of this in the Famicom version, or Famicom region, whatever. And it's interesting there. It's I believe the character is different. He's not using a hammer. I think it's a different weapon. There's something different about it. I forget what it is, but very, very fun game if you guys can get your hands on it. Last PAL game I'm going to show you before I get into the rare NES games I was able to track down for this episode. This is a really, really cool alternate art game, and I was just looking for the cart, but I managed to find a complete one in a really, really good shape, actually, so I was definitely not going to complain. It's the original Mario Brothers, and it kind of says Classic Series, so basically Classic Series like a Greatest Hits or a Player's Choice. And it's got really, really cool box art, like I said, as you can see. And the cartridge has the same art inside, but really, really interesting, and something that I definitely caught my eye on. I'm glad to add to the collection. All Alright guys, the last 4 games I have for you, and these are all definitely rare games. I would say 3 of the 4 are actually good games also. I'll show you guys the not so good one first. Definitely very difficult to find, and the cover is quite controversial at this point, but it is a copy of Die Hard. And like I said, really not that good of a game, unfortunately. Some people have made videos complaining about how notoriously bad it is, but very hard to find, and super happy to get this in the collection. Next one here, I actually got this as an even swap trade with one of my buddies from the Houston Retro Gamers, Kingsley. He's been on a few Game Chasers episodes, and he gets around in the gaming community, if you get my drift. But he had a copy of this that he had spare, and I had a copy of DuckTales 2, which he wanted to add to his collection. And lo and behold, I now own Rescue Rangers 2. And this is a really fun game. I do not believe it's as good as the original, but the co-op multiplayer is really cool. I like how you can pick each other up and throw each other, and really fun. So this is definitely a Grimsie42 recommendation, and super happy to have in the collection. So thank you, Kingsley. The next one is, in my opinion, one of the best games on the system, and something that I've been enjoying the heck out of playing recently. It's really fun, and the label is a bit misleading, but at the end of the day, if you guys can get a hold of this, I highly recommend it. This is the most highly recommended game I have in the video. Definitely something, if you have the means, really try to get in your collection. A copy of Gun-Knack. Gun-Knack is basically a really good vertical scroll shooter or shmup, and it's just super fun. The graphics are really good. There's not that much flickering or slowdown based on the Nintendo's limitations, and it's super fun. So I really recommend this one, guys. Alright guys, last and certainly not least, this last game I'm going to show you was very difficult for me to track down. It was the bane of my existence for a while. I'm super grateful to have it in the collection, and I actually picked this up while I was in Albany, New York. There's a chain of stores down there called Pastime Legends, and the owner, Joe, was actually talking to me about my quest to collect NES games, and I showed him the list of games I was missing, and he said that he had this game at home, and he was nice enough to actually send it to me, so I'm super grateful. And it is a very clean copy of Wacky Races. And the thing about this game that's very surprising is Wacky Races is actually not a racer. It is an action platformer, and you play as Muttley, that little dog, and Dick Dastardly, I guess, is his boss or whatever. But it's based off the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and it's really fun, actually. It's got some definite funness to it. Funness, is that a word? I don't think it is. But it's definitely an enjoyable game, and something that I really am grateful to Joe for helping me out and getting into the collection. Again, I will link all the information below for his stores, actually, rather. And I definitely recommend, if you guys are in the Albany area, check them out. Pastime Legends, really cool selection. The employees there are great. That's one of the things I really like, is not just that the owner is knowledgeable and good to work with, but if he's not at the store that you're at, every employee that I've encountered is knowledgeable, friendly, and really willing to work with you. So definitely something that, if you're in that area, I recommend. And with that being said, guys, that is going to close up this part of this Quest for NES, Episode 7. I will be bringing out Episode 8 very shortly. I'm actually going to record it right after this, and that one will be a little bit shorter as far as pickups, but it will feature the pro tips and pretty good special guest. You guys should definitely look forward to it. I'm going to have that episode out about a week from now, just so I can space it out properly. But I do feel bad that it was so long in between episodes, so I'm going to do those 2 episodes in one, kind of like I did with the previous 2. So I really appreciate you guys sticking around to the end, and let me know, is there any series or system that you're going for a complete collection for? You know, is that something you aspire for? And another question that I actually had for you guys, when you display your boxed games, especially like, for example, NES, do you do it like alphabetically, or do you put like all the gray or silver, whatever you would have at Konami titles, and then all the black box titles, all the purple or blue, whatever it is, Capcom titles? So do you actually just chronologically do it alphabetical order, or do you display them based on publisher or the style of the box? Definitely interested to hear what you guys think. Really appreciate you sticking around to the end, and until next week, guys, take care.